Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Tier 1 race here at AUSF1. Today we are back for a race around the Red Bull Ring at Austria for round 4 of Season 8 of the AUSF1 Racing League. All 20 drivers in today. A couple of reserves, including the likes of Daniel Starr, Mash Jr. I believe we've got someone else in the Williams somewhere. Someone else in there. I'll find them eventually. But the first driver out on track is Vetrio5. He's the other reserving for the Kick Sauber team this evening. The first driver to be completing his outlap with 16 minutes left in this qualifying session, heading down towards turn number 4, a very short so we'll see some tight qualifying times, hopefully mid-pack. The favourite for tonight's race definitely has to be Campbell, Adams, or Websey. These are some of the fastest drivers in Oceania we have at the tip of the grid. Campbell Adams was very high up in a F1 Oceania race earlier this week, which is arguably the fastest league in the region. But we will hop on with Vetri as he will complete the minute 4-5 second lap around the Red Bull Ring as he heads down into turn 1. Very easy to spin on this curve if you take it wrong. Vetri, a little moment there, but he has managed to keep it stable, and he will now get a nice tow from this Williams as he heads up towards turn number 3, slamming on the brakes at the 100-meter board, able to just fling it into the corner in first gear for that rotation. Another DRS zone, the final one of the lap, pretty much, except the 100 metres before the start-finish line, as he now comes very wide into turn 4 to carry as much minimum speed as possible. Vetri will be looking to set a very good bank lap here. You can get 3, maybe 4 laps if you push it with fresh tyres around the Red Bull Ring, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of drivers do 2, maybe 3, as Vetri heads towards the final 2 corners at the Red Bull Ring. Only 10, maybe 9 corners, depending on how you want to classify it, around here as he goes on the curb, but manages to keep his lap valid, a 105.5484 Vetri, as we will now try and jump to somebody who set another lap time, Apollo Pepsi. He doesn't go onto the curb this time. He doesn't have to back out. Coming towards the line, it is a 104.612 as Sir Joshua 103.770. That's a lot more representative of some of the times we'll see tonight from the 2 Aston Martin boys. Sir Joshua and Zox, I believe, actually giving each other a little tow throughout that lap. GLX Cam, he's invalidated as he comes towards the line. Kiefer Spodek just started his lap, so did Ghost Rider. Aussie 2K Goat about halfway through his. We might stick with the reigning champion here on his trusty PlayStation 5 controller, looking to ace these final 2 corners to set a good lap time on the board. Careful not to invalidate as it ruins your next lap as well. Seems like he took a double out lap, however, as I failed to pay attention to his DRS levels as Mash Jr. He's invalidated as he comes towards the line. That is Vetri pulling into the pit lane. Let's see, Apollo Pepsi will also be coming into the pit lane. So I believe the next driver to cross the line will be Kiefer One Deck in the Snot Dyson. That Kick Sauber, flinging it through that final corner, carrying as much minimum speed as possible, letting the car's momentum carry him out onto the racing line. P3 for the Sauber, as that will slot him provisionally into row 2 on this grid. Campbell Adams getting out of people's way nicely. Fins on an out, so I believe that's what Campbell's intention will be, to give his teammate a tow. Farmer Sam, he slots into P4, his teammate Set Dummy. He's split up into P3, 104.179, putting Kiefer Spondek in a Haas sandwich. As let's have a look at some of the lap times that are about to be set here by the likes of Campbell Adams. We might ride on board for this one as he gets down to around 65% battery on that second straight, straddling the curb, making the corner as wide as possible, then absolutely flinging that steering wheel in like there is no tomorrow, getting a tow from that Mercedes that will only boost his likely to be fast lap time, braking at around the 80 metre mark, and once again flinging that steering wheel in, locking up that front right tyre to get a bit more rotation, as he will now have his sights set on turn 6, braking well after the 50 metre board, as it's only a little lift through turn 7 there. Now down towards turn 9 and 10, he'll be careful not to invalidate, as that is flat out by the looks of it. He properly flings it into the final corner, probably the fastest way you can take that corner, and it's a 103.143. Let's see what his teammate Finns can do. He will slot up into 7th for 104.412. Nat Hammer now crossing the line. We'll have to see what he can do. Maybe a little recharge lap for the Mercedes driver. We see eBay Boy coming to the line now. P14 for him, as we see Verk recover from a little beachside holiday in Austria, landlocked country. Not a place you'd think you'd find a beach, as we see Websy, and who's that? Campbell Adams scrapping at it a little bit with AUSF1 right behind. I'll try to jump to Mash Jr. as he should be on a lap. He's on red fuel though, so he might have to complete this one though. He hasn't set a valid lap time yet. Has that Williams reserve driver only on 20% ERS as he comes towards the end of his lap, and it looks like he may be pulling into the pit lane, and that is what he'll be doing, following the 3 cars ahead of him into the lane. We'll watch Nat Hammer come around that final corner. He will not improve, 1.8 tenths off his previous best. eBay Boy, I doubt, will improve, 9 tenths off. Finns pulls into the pit lane, so he might just be going for a little quiet period in this qualifying session. Let's see Apollo Pepsi, he's about to set a lap, but I think some of the guys who will be more interesting to watch will be Zox and Sir Joshi, currently 2 and 3. These two Aston Martin drivers are scarily fast as they prepare to start their laps, slipstreaming each other. Sir Joshi a little bit further back. He'll still get the benefits of the slipstream though without being held up through the corners. Hitting that apex nicely is the provisional P2 sitter. A Haas behind, trying to leech off the slipstream, but he is on an outlap. Whether that's Set Dummy or Farmer Sam, I guess we'll never know. But Sir Joshi burning that battery, already down to 33%, but still right in the toe of his teammate Zox ahead, gaining a couple crucial attempts that could be used to edge closer to Campbell Adams, maybe protect himself from the likes of Websy and AUSF1, known as Eve Chungus, for this race. Not sure why I decided to change his name, probably just a bit bored. Things year 11 does to a man. But Sir Joshi flinging it down towards the final 2 corners now. Careful not to invalidate, careful not to spin on the curb. So many places it can go wrong, but it feels so good when you get it right at Austria. Sir Joshi looking to improve, and it is a 2/10 improvement on 103.5. What did his teammate do? I guess we'll never know. It looks like he invalidated at the final corner, at the final hurdle, just failing. Unfortunately for him, Set Dommy has invalidated. Farmer Sam hasn't, leading a little train by the looks of it, flinging it into this middle sector as everyone comes out for their second run of this qualifying session. 8 minutes remaining in the session. Farmer Sam currently sitting on a 104.369 as he is now on the inside of turn 7, riding that curb through turn 8, and now gearing himself up for turn 9. Depends if you can't turn 2 as a corner, but Farmer Sam will not be thinking about that right now. He'll be thinking about braking at the end of that concrete patch of runoff there and maximising his speed towards the line. It is a 6/10 improvement, P3 for the P3 for the Haas driver. A very good result for him. Apollo Pepsi pulling into the pit lane. Daniel Starr, 1.5 tenths down through sector 2. You'll be looking to gain some of that time back through sector 3, saving a bit of battery for a push to the line, but he has invalidated at that final corner. We now see two Sauber drivers. Keith Respondek 4 tenths up on his original time, and he maintained that advantage through sector 3. P4 or 103.859 for him, as we now start to see some faster lap times, as we see Campbell Adams. Oh, there was some movement. Websy, he goes into P2. I believe it was GLX Cam jumping up into P5. Massive increase of pace for this McLaren driver. A bit of a steal at pick 11. Someone else, bit of a steal. P10, checkered flag. Not racing tonight, however. As we will now try and find somebody on a lap. A lot of blips around that final corner. Let's see, is somebody like Mash Jr. finally setting a lap time? He will, but it won't be competitive, and sitting on none for that, on 108.680, and this is where his actual lap will start. We'll see if we can get on board or set Dommy for his 2 tenths improvement. But I believe he has invalidated at that final hurdle. Again, not ideal for him. Vetri pulling into the pit lane, 2 tenths up, but he did invalidate. We now see the Alpine Verk coming towards the end of his lap, just starting his lap now, actually, in that hot lap mode with 5 minutes left to go. Scotty, he has not set a lap time yet, so he might ride on board with pick 7 in the season 8 draft. Scotty 793 braking at that 100-meter board, heading into turn 3. We're getting down into first, second gear for that rotation now, already up into 8th at 300 kilometers per hour, heading down towards turn 4, flinging into that apex. Easy to go wide on exit, but Scotty has managed that beautifully, as we see Mash Jr. up into P4, a sneaky bit of pace about that Williams, but his teammate will be looking to match him. Ooh, as Scotty has a big moment there for turn 8, hopping onto the gravel. He has managed to not invalidate his lap, but he won't be as high up as the won't be as high up the order as he would have liked, only mustering P18. Verk now coming to the line, P17 for him, a 1 second improvement up to a 104.905. As we see, the only drivers out on track are all on in laps. So, the first driver to exit that pit lane, Daniel Starr 14 in P14, quite fitting for that username of his. He will be flying out of the pit lane, maybe looking to get a cooldown lap between 2 hot laps. Could be the way to go for Daniel Starr, as he won in DRS Tier 3 last night, taking a big leap up to AUSF1 Tier 1. Some strong names in here. In fact, the entire top 10 with 103. So their name is Scotty retires from the session. Daniel Starr will be Daniel Starr was the only driver out on track. Apollo Pepsi now just coming out, heading towards and through turn 2 now. But Daniel Starr getting ready to start his lap. He'll be looking for a toe, but he won't want to be impeded from some of these drivers coming out. Maybe something from that kick Sauber, depending on how slow it goes. But he is starting his lap now, hopping up into hot lap mode, 90% ERS battery, heading into turn 1, a little bit of recharge, 5% there, and that will now be burnt on the run up to turn 2. Seems like that kick Sauber of Vetri wants to get out of the way promptly. Smart maneuver by the reserve to not get LP for an impediment. He did get to 7 in one race last season. I just want to throw that out there. As Daniel Starr now heading down into turn 4, hitting that apex now, running it out wide to carry that minimum speed, heading towards turn 6 after that little turn 5 kink. Make sure not to get too wide and hop onto the gravel is what Daniel Starr will want to be doing. Looking to rise from P14 as he will fling himself into the final 2 corners as we now start to see a lot of the back heading out of the pit lane. We might see Daniel Starr give GLX Cam a tow actually on this next lap. Daniel Starr, a 1/10 improvement. He'll now have some time to recharge. Staying in overtake though, maybe trying to catch up to some of the guys ahead. But let's see, can we see anyone who's just started a hot lap? Yes, it is Vetri05. Maybe that kicks our teammate of his ahead. Could drop back and give him a tow, but it looks like he's just leaving, getting some temperature into those tyres. Vetri already down to 30% battery on that hot lap setting, charging back up to 40 with that heavy braking zone at turn 3, and he will in fact get a tow from his teammate Kiefer Spondek, doing some nice teamwork with a reserve. I doubt they're in a VC together or coordinating something like that. Vetri missing that apex a little bit through turn 4. He will now go through turn 5, heading towards turn 6. A little dab of the brakes there as he comes completely off the throttle. Back on a little lift as Websy, 5-place grid penalty for quote-unquote blocking. Might be his teammate, who knows, as we can see those 2 V-Cups quite close together. But we'll have to see what can Vetri05 do. Looking to improve from a 105.548. And he does to a 105.342. We now see the Ferrari of Aussie 2K. He's just had a 2.5 improvement up into P11, as we will not see Daniel Starr complete another lap. The only driver in the pit lane along other than Scotty, who has retired. So let's find somebody pacey who we can jump on board with. Campbell Adams. He won't get around in time, will he? He'll have to... I don't think Campbell Adams is going to get around in time. A 103.1 might be the best he can do. Websy won't get around in time either, as he gets impeded a little bit. And he will not set another lap time. Campbell Adams, a 103.1 is the best he can do. I say that like it's a bad lap time, as we see Finn's a 103.5. I believe he's used too much of his battery. Let's see, can we find somebody on a map? I believe we just saw Mash Jr. invalidate. Kiefer Spondek, what can he do? A 1/10 improvement, but not enough to gain a position. A 103.760, the best that Kick Sauber driver can muster. Who else is on a lap? No one, by the looks of it, except possibly Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider on a lap. We'll jump on board with him until the end of this qualifying session. Very low on battery in coming through these final 2 corners, hoping to recharge a little bit for that run down to the line, but he just pulls into the pit lane. Nat Hammer, he crosses the line. Let's see, can he improve? I believe it was him getting beaten up by it might have been his teammate actually. It would have been his teammate. Can't improve. A 1.2 second loss compared to his personal best, and that is the qualifying order for today's race. Campbell Adams starting from pole, as was expected. Websy in second, and Set Domi third, Sir Joshi fourth, Finn's fifth, GLX Cam sixth, Palmer Sam seventh, Zox eighth, Mash Jr. ninth, Keith Spondek rounds out your top 10. But, as we can see, Websy, a 5-place grid penalty. just going to scroll through the invalidations, but started a little bit too late. Seems like we will not be having a restart for Webster's grid penalty. He will be forced to start from P7 on this grid, promoting the people, the 5 people behind him up a position. So, Campbell Adams will be looking to run away quickly with this, but DRS training is a big factor at the Red Bull Ring here. 3 back-to-back, 2-back DRS zones. But we will await all these drivers to select their strategy and ready up. Everyone's starting on the medium compound of tyre for now. We'll have to see if that... Hello? Oh, okay, we are back. We'll wait for this timing sheet to sort itself out. But Campbell Adams has set Dommy up his inside. A little bit of contact as he is forced off the road. He will fall down into P4. GLX Cam side by 3 wide with Campbell Adams and Websey. He has the inside line. He will benefit. Campbell Adams forced around the outside on that longer line. Gets better traction though versus GLX Cam. So does Websey. Actually, no, that was Finn's, not Campbell Adams. My apologies. As everything has now sorted itself out. Matt Hammer back in his real position of P17. But we now see your top 5 order set. Dommy from Sir Joshi, from Finns, from Websey, from GLX Cam. Campbell Adams on the back foot after turn 1. Contact Farmer Sam in P7. That is contact at the back as Set Dommy has retired from the session. As we see a virtual safety car. That's a... Do we have a red flag? Okay, we have a red flag. So we await a couple drivers to retire. So we've seen Nat Hammer disqualified. Ghost Rider still yet to retire. Apologies guys, just gonna do a little bit of commentary work quickly, fill in some details, and then we'll be right back once this new lobby is up and running. Apologies for that brief interruption, guys. Just a red flag due to grid penalties, but we are now back underway for some Tier 1 action. It will be the same grid. Websy will be moved back up to second. 5 people below him will be moved back down 1 peg. And then we will we'll be back racing. Just got the stream up for purposes of chat. But we await Vetri and Verk's internet connection. Then we will load back into the lobby. Reminder to anyone listening, if you're driving or talking to someone driving, setups. And Vetri05 has left the session a lot more overcast than it originally was. Hopefully it stays dry so we can replicate what would have happened in this real in the real race. But we await the 5 lights to turn on. I won't make the mistake of going into race director this time around. We will have a bit of patience. But 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's a long hold, but we are underway. Campbell Adams having a decent start, but Websy looking to peek up the inside. Nearly 3 wide into turn 1 as Campbell Adams forced off track again. Both him and Websy having to slow down. And Set Dommy takes the lead from Sir Joshy, from Finns, Campbell Adams, GLX Cam, and Farmer Sam going 3 wide. Shades of the first race, but Campbell Adams all the way down into 7th. He'll be looking to get back up into 6th, and that is exactly what he has done. We will take a look at the tyres. Every single driver on mediums except for Nat Hammer on the hard compound of tyres. As we see Finns now leading this race. So Joshua looking to go around the outside of Set Dommy, but Set Dommy with that inside line that reigns supreme on F124, having to settle for P3. Now his focuses will be on consolidating P3 from Farmer Sam behind, but it seems like he does have a bit of a pace advantage over Vetri, but it is still very tight knit as we saw as we're seeing a little bit of contact between the Kicksauber and that Mercedes driver. Could end up in the steward's room, but for now it just looks like some good hard battling as he's forced back off track again, but he finally jumps that Mercedes driver. But they both have lost a little bit of time. That's a lot of time. Keith Responder getting shafted there a little bit, not ideal for him. I believe this is Vetri's AI, so hopefully he isn't causing carnage. But Zox Mash Jr., as we see Cam leave the session. Hope I haven't added. Apologies, guys. Can't see him at the moment, and he is falling down the field like a stone through his AI-powered car. I'll give him another look. Because we don't. It's a bit okay. Should have just sent him that invite. Hopefully he can get back into the lobby as he is all the way down into P14 now behind his teammate. Hopefully back in the race. It seems like he might be. We'll have to see where he breaks. Okay. That Sauber has gone a little bit flying, a little bit of terrorism there from the green machine. Maybe braking a little bit too late. Not wanting to get held up by that AI in front of him. But for now, it is set dummy from Finns, from Farmer Sam. Campbell Adams already back up into P4. Webster not far behind. Sir Joshy has front wing damage. He is forward from P2 or 3 all the way down to P6. And now his sight will be behind him on AUSF Goat as we see Scotty retiring from the session. And that is a safety car. What happened there, Scotty? Oof. Yeah. I'll flick. Are you happy to jump into comms with me, or? Yeah, I'll flick your PlayStation invite then, because I think Discord's a bit. If you're able to. Hopefully, Scotty's able to join that. Welcome back, Scotty.
Alright, so hopefully everyone can hear me properly.
That should be the plan. I'll just check on stream now. Give us a test, Scotty.
So hopefully we've got everyone can hear me. I've turned me up a little bit, but yeah, hopefully should be good.
Yep, can hear you on stream. I might just turn you up a little bit.
Probably have to max me out. So yeah, so really unfortunate that my night ended super early, but at least I'll be able to call the majority of this race. But yeah, sadly, definitely a few incidents on the opening 4 laps before this first safety car. So I think just a few of these guys just a little bit aggressive, maybe trying to go a little bit more aggressive after the red flag, and unfortunately it just hasn't quite worked. A lot of people having damage, and I think that's sort of why you've seen a lot of drivers come into the box to already change to the hard compound, because a lot of drivers did actually have damage.
Yeah, it was a very chaotic first few laps from inside the comms box. I'm currently working on trying to get Gelix Cam back in the lobby.
Well, I can do that, because I have a feeling
Alrighty.
this safety car potentially could be in at the end of this lap.
Yep. Thank you, Scotty.
He has got that one. I'll keep it on the Discord.
We're still waiting on the Sauber Vetri. I don't know if he's under... he's typing in the Discord chat now, so we'll have to see if he can control it. The AI, or not the AI, the safety car will be staying out another lap though, as GLX Cam has just disconnected from the session again.
Yeah, Vetri unfortunately can't take control of his car, unfortunately. Just a lovely thing with the game on this one that it doesn't like to let you have control. You got to sort of be patient to load back into the game when you do a reset. But yeah, unfortunately, he's having a few issues, and obviously my incident with his AI car, obviously he couldn't do anything because he didn't have control. So yeah, really unfortunate. Looking at damage, I don't think he's. No one's got any sort of side pod damage or anything like that, which is good. Yeah.
Something interesting strategy-wise, though, is that the top 5 and eBay Boy in 8th place all have not pit. All of them except Nat Hammer are on the medium compound of tyres. So both the Hasses, SFR, Fins, IIT, Mash Jr. and eBay Boy are all still stuck on 6-lap-old mediums, which puts Campbell Adams in a very good spot after an abysmal lap 1 from the pole setter. He'll be making sure that he gets past Nat Hammer nice and early. But the message has popped up atop our screens. The safety car will be in this lap. Set Dommy will lead the field away. We'll jump on board with Fins to watch Set Dommy lead us away. Fins leaving a nice big gap as Set Dommy attempts to back the pack up. Fins now finally catching up, but the safety car has pulled into the pit lane. When will Fins pull? Fins have to follow Dommy. Dommy says now he has pulled the trigger. It is go, go, go. 6/10 is the gap from first to second. Fins now mightily under pressure from Farmer Sam, just 0.2 of a second behind Nat Hammer, looking to not fall away as Campbell Adams now overtakes them, both of them on the hard compound tyre. Campbell Adams with a 4-lap tyre advantage. He'll be looking to go to the end of this race, but for now it is Set Dommy from Fins from Farmer Sam as we see a little bit of contact as Campbell Adams now finally gets Nat Hammer heading down towards turn 4.
Yeah, good jump from Campbell to obviously try and get at least one of the moves done. Webbsy's obviously following him behind, so both Webbsy trying to stay with Campbell to give him any sort of chance at the end of this race to potentially claim the victory. Nat, I don't think he was sort of fighting that hard, but a lot of ERS usage we're seeing is AUSF has picked up a bit of front wing damage. Right side end plate is gone, so you can sort of get away with a bit of wing. If it's not too heavily damaged. He's sort of stuck in this train, unfortunately, so that's allowing Webbsy and Campbell to get away from the quicker guys who have made at least one pit stop, and Nat already losing the DRS. So it's going to be his teammate that he'll let go fairly simply, but I have a feeling he's going to be in trouble by both the RB and the Alpine as well. Nat goes to the left. We're going to see 3 wide potentially. Do we see contact? Thankfully, everyone fairly clean. Nat gets escorted a little bit wide as that allows eBay through. You got Nat, you got Aussie right in there as well. As we make our way into turn number 4, as Aussie sends a bit of a lunge, has a bit of a slide, nearly running into the back of the RB. Just sorts themselves out. Bit messy in this mid-pack, that's allowing the top 6 to get away. But thankfully, we've had no major collisions on the restart, and it's going to be Farmer Sam still leading from Fins, from Dobby, Mash inside the top 4. As you said, Ashton, they have yet to make a pit stop in this race so far.
Yes, we have seen a little bit of juggling with lead changes in this first lap. Set Dommy and Farmer Sam basically swap positions. At one point, Fins was leading as well, as we now reach the back-to-back DRS zones once again, heading up that the longest straight on the track, a big uphill climb towards turn 2 as Fins overtakes Farmer Sam, taking the lead. We'll see a lot of this race, a lot of DRS something tried to bridge that gap, as we see Campbell Adams actually a fair way off Mash Jr. He was 0.8 off for a second, bridging that gap back a little bit now as Farmer Sam retakes the lead. Set Dommy, no action for him this lap, stagnant in 3rd position. That train that saw a lot of carnage last lap with some dive bombs and collisions all clean this up, following each other orderly through that middle sector as they rely on AUSF1 to try to catch back up to that top train, and it looks like he might be doing just that. 9 tenths off Websy at the minute. Websy 8 tenths off Campbell Adams in front of him, but it looks like AUSF1 has done the impossible task and bridged the gap back. He has copped a warning there by the looks of it, going a little bit wide, and he's burnt quite a bit of ERS, but the important thing for him is that he is back in the DRS train, and he will be able to latch back on to the leader's pace. Farm Sam currently leading on those 10-lap-old mediums.
Yeah, and if you want someone to try and bridge a gap, it's definitely Yusuf, even with the wing damage, and he's done just that. So at least he's been able to settle, but I don't know how competitive he's going to be in terms of really taking this to the fight when Campbell and Websy eventually do get back to the front, as Farmer Sam and Finn swapping positions for the race lead. So you got both passes, so they've obviously both decided to stay out. I know they were both in the same voice chat, so they've obviously both decided to stay out. Obviously the Williams Reserve Mash as well. Good to see him up there, but as I said, going to be interesting to see. They'll obviously have a big offset, maybe a cheeky safety car in about 7 to 8 laps time. That helps them as Vetri has retired, and that is that spectator glitch, which it's really unfortunate that sort of has to happen. So as Aussie picks up a 3-second time penalty, as Sir Joshi sets the fastest lap at the current moment, 106.086, as Finns and Farmer Sam up front. I feel like these guys have just got to swap positions, just keeping DRS between themselves. As I said, they're sort of on a different race strategy as the guys behind, but they'll look to come back further in the race.
Yeah, Aussie 2K Goat, as you mentioned there, picking up the second track limits penalty of this race. Track limits can be a thorn in your backside or around the Red Bull ring. Very easy to pick up some track limits warnings, especially in the bottom half of that track. The first driver to get those 3 seconds was Keith Respondek. He's had a bit of an incident-filled race, and I believe it was lap 1, 2, or 3. We saw him banging wheels with AUSF1, so he might be able to get a couple penalties removed, but I would not be counting on it if you're the likes of Ghost Rider behind. But for now, we see Finns leading the front pack. Farmer Sam looking to overtake, but he will wait until that turn 2, 3 straight, getting a good exit out of turn number 1, and he will make an easy DRS pass up into first, as we see Campbell Adams still very close behind, even on those hards. That could be a sign of the mediums wear or a sign of Campbell Adams' extremely good pace, but for now it is Haas Red Bull, then VCARB. That rounds out your top 5.
So it's Campbell down the inside of Dommy. I don't know if Dommy's going to have the grip to fight off Campbell, but he's doing just that. So Campbell back up inside the top 3. I'm assuming shouldn't have too many issues from his teammate. So whether Finns will actually just get out of the way or just won't really fight him, potentially at turn 3. But Finns, obviously, different strategy as Websy gets past Dommy. Dommy's going to make the break early to come into the pit lane. Hasn't gone as far as I originally thought. I figured if you want to stay out under that safety car, you go a little bit further than 14 laps, but he'll get a bit of an undercut. Problem is, he won't have any DRS, and we know half this track's pretty much DRS covered, so not sure how much ground he'll be able to do with an undercut as Finns gets past Farmer Sam. Oh, as Farmer Sam and Campbell, that was getting close. Campbell's got the inside, so the long run down to turn number 4. And I don't think Sam has the grip to fight, especially off the traction of turn 3. And Campbell, so it's Red Bull 1 and 2. So, as you can see, Finns, fairly easy to overtake. Oh, Sam looking to capitalise on Finn, trying to let his teammate through, is getting very close. You got Websy as well, he's boxed in. As we're nearly going to go side by side through turn 8. So, this is getting a little bit hairy. We're going to be nearly 3 wide. Websy, does he get the inside line? A little bit of contact further back. Mash has run into the back of the Haas, so that's lost him about 5 positions. So getting a little bit bogged in this train. but that has allowed Campbell. So Finns has pretty much allowed Campbell to get a 1.6 second lead, and I have a feeling, unless Webbsy's got big pace, I have a feeling this could have been the moment of victory for the Red Bull driver Campbell Adams.
Yeah, ordinarily with Campbell Adams having that 1.6 second lead, he doesn't have a driver in front of him to DRS train off, so he would be a bit stranded there. But I doubt Finns would actually be willing to work with Websy to catch back up to Campbell Adams. He might just sit behind and try to slow the pack down, make sure he stays within DRS of Websy, so he can jump ahead if needed and maybe slow him down through the middle sector. But as you said, Scotty, that could be the moment of victory for Campbell Adams. Now with a 1.9 second lead, he should be going to the end of this race. And for Campbell Adams, I think he'll be looking forward to 20 laps of some hard compound tyre practice around the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, and as I said, you got AUSF coming in now, so figured that wing damage was going to give him a bit of issues. He's now picked up a 10-second time penalty as well, so he definitely will need a safety car to bring him back into it. Hasn't pit and quit just yet, so points, remembering, go down to P15. So Cam, I know he's just having internet issues. He's really unfortunate that he hasn't been able to rejoin the lobby, but as Farmer Sam and Finn swap positions at turn 4 back up into P3. So Sam and Finn's yet to make a pit stop, same as Mash and Nat Hammer and eBay as well down to P13 and 14. They haven't made a pit stop either. So bit of a field spread now with a few of the other guys running. Oh, Cam might actually back in because you don't usually pick up a 3-second penalty with the AI car, so thankfully Cam's in. He definitely needs a safety car to bring him back into it, as you got multiple drivers ducking off into pit lane. That's Sam and Finns. So it's just going to be a matter of if Domi got the undercut on them as we begin lap 17 to 36. I'll keep an eye on where they come out, and I'll cross back to you, Ashton.
Yeah, Websy, he is now within that 1 second mark of Campbell Adams in front. This could turn out to be a very good race between the two sister teams, Red Bull and VCub, looking to battle it out for this race win. I think a lot of drivers who did not pit under safety car are starting to regret their choices. Domi, who pitted 3 laps earlier than the two drivers behind him, a 2-second undercut, partially due to some of the battling up front. But I think the driver to watch for the next lap, maybe 2 laps, maybe 3 laps, is AMS Labsy, right on the fringe of DRS range to the car ahead, which is Campbell Adams, as he has a little bit of twitch on that turn 8 curb, but he has kept it together, and it looks like he will get DRS this lap. So Campbell Adams and Websy have made this a 2-horse race for the win. But now the question is, who takes it? I think we're exactly halfway into the Austrian Grand Prix AUSF1 Tier 1 edition, and Websy is now right on Campbell Adams' tail. Campbell has a lot more ERS with Websy on half a tank, Campbell on nearly full, so he might try to gas him in the middle sector and the last sector. But for now, it is Websy and Campbell Adams for the race lead. You've got Sir Joshi, Apollo, Pepsi, Zox, and Verk all in P3 down to P6. Aussie 2K go not far behind. Keith Respondek, a little bit of an riddled race, and at the moment it seems like a bit of a lonely race for him. Nat Hamas and eBay Boy both still need to pit, as eBay Boy now battling with a Ghost Rider. Pretty shocking angle from eBay Boy's car there, but Ghost Rider just backing out and trying to bide his time, knowing that eBay Boy will pit sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you feel like eBay Boy should be in the next lap or two. Nat obviously won't be too far behind, but Webbsy's done a good job closing back within Campbell, so it'll be a race between 2 there, Sir Joshi and Apollo. Just that little bit further back, you got a bit of a Sir Joshi train from 3rd all the way down to P7. Joshi doesn't go for the move. Finns gets the fastest lap, but again, I know there's about a 13 lap difference in tyres. Problem is, I don't feel like just sort of how short this track is, whether I'll even be able to make up the time without a safety car intervention.
Yeah, the only thing set Dommy Farm, Sam and Finns have going for each other at the moment is each other. They're able to work with each other. That all three of them are fast drivers, so they might be able to catch up to that train headed by eBay Boy, which is P9 down to P11. But I don't think we'll see them make much more progress than that. Maybe Keith Respondek in P8, but I think that will be the furthest they will reach. In the meantime, Amos Websey has taken the lead of the race in as the front two have now started DRS swapping, building a gap to the two cars behind. But I think it's just the right thing to do. You don't really want to be that guy who makes both of you lose time due to wanting to stick behind his Farmer Sam. A 105.448 fastest lap of the Grand Prix on some 3-lap-old hard tyres, using the benefits of the DRS there as eBay Boy calls his time on those medium tyres. He has switched to the white band tyres and will be running the remaining 16-17 laps of this race on Apollo Pepsi. He spun on the inside of turn 4. He'll wait for Keith Respondek to go past, and then he'll try to rejoin the track as quickly as possible.
Goes onto the gravel. Yeah, goes on the gravel just to be safe. As he's got to be careful not to join too early. He's just managed to do that. Really unfortunate. He was running in a good position, P7 at the time. I think he was just at the bottom of that sort of second group. So really unfortunate for Apollo. I don't think yes, he has got damage. He's got front wing damage. So whether he'll stick it out, as he's got Mash side by side. As does Apollo decide to come in, he will chuck a set of medium tyres on. He'll go 15 laps. So again, he'll sort of need a safety car to bring him back. But unlucky for Apollo. As I'm just having a look, obviously I know 3 drivers with 3-second pens at the moment, so track limit's not a big issue at the moment, but we know how it only takes a couple of little wide moments, especially either out of the final corner or at turn 3, that you can rack up a 3-second penalty. A lot of drivers thankfully have front wing damage as well, so it's been a little bit cleaner on this restart with guys getting away without any damage.
Yeah, something else to note, the two Aston Martins, Sir Joshy and Zox, the camera's been on them for about a lap. They're in a very good position. Verkanon's a 2K goat behind them, but at the moment, Sir Joshy and Zox just working with each other, holding position, holding P3 and P4 for themselves, as we see Sir Joshy pick up a 3-second warning at the exit of turn 1, just running a little bit wide. And as Scotty, you just said, all it takes is that one wide moment, and you've got an extra 3 seconds added to your race tally, which at a track like the Red Bull Ring can add up very, very quickly. As we see another yellow flag, that seems like Gelix Cam, deciding that the infield of turn 6 and 7 decided that it needs a little bit of mowing. His tyres, I reckon they will be very overheated. I think we'll see him come into the pits. I don't know if Cam is the kind of guy to pit and quit, but it seems like he's staying out for now.
No, I'm just watching this battle for P8. Farmer Sam, Finn's Ghost Rider getting a little bit hairy. Sam was forced off at the exit of turn 3, managed to rejoin. Very, very close to contact between them, both Haas's. Nat just a little bit further back, maybe just trying to stay out of trouble, but again, he's the only one that's yet stopped in this race. So, Farmer Sam and Finn's making good time at the moment, swap for the lead, obviously with DRS, but Sam and Finn's, if they can sort of knock off sort of the hard battling, at one point they were about a second and a half lap quicker than the guys in front, so 8 seconds to... 5 seconds to close down to Keith, and then a further 8 seconds, so it's going to be tough. They sort of just got to work together a little bit here. Ghost Rider's not going to make it easy as he goes down the inside of Dommy. Little bit of a wiggle from Ghost Rider, so that should allow Dommy to have the better traction off the corner. Obviously, 9-lap fresher hard compounded tyres. Sam and Finn's swapping positions going into turn 4. Apollo, after his wing change, he picks up the 3-second penalty as well. So that's just sort of when your day goes bad, it sort of tends to be bad. But yeah, not a night to remember from Apollo or Cam, unfortunately. So Jerobot, yes, I'm on the headset mic because I obviously crashed out very early. So we're just through the PlayStation parties as Campbell gets back past Websy. So you got your packs as Verk now. He wants to get into this Aston Martin battle for P3, 4, and 5 side by side off the exit of 3. And Verk couldn't quite get it done, and then DRS will help Zox try and keep within, or keep Verk behind. So the Astons, they can be a little bit smart and work together. They can hold off Verk, but obviously Sir Joshy, he's going to be hurt by that 3 seconds. They sort of need to break Verk and Aussie here, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I'm sure Aussie 2K go behind. The team principal of Ferrari will be looking forward to some good points. Currently sitting in P6, and I'll be liking the looks of the 3 drivers in front of him battling because he is right there, only 5 tenths behind Verk, ready to pick up the pieces if there is a collision. Get some quick and easy points. That is realistically earned. It's been a very good, clean race from Aussie 2K. I believe his only incident was Keith Respondek getting a little bit shunted before that safety car due to some desync, as we see Zox and Sir Joshy swapping, and I think we're about to see Campbell Adams and Websy swapping, which they always seem to do before between turn 3 and 4.
Sorry, Sir Joshy having a big moment off the exit curb and onto the grass. He's lost 2 positions. He's about to lose the position to Aussie. He's got the outside line. Aussie on the inside just has the better outside line, so Sir Joshy P5, but he was nearly going to be facing the wall. Very good control of his car, but yeah, went a little bit deep into turn 3, just caught the back end of it, but yeah, very, very lucky, so that allows Verk in there. Cam picks up another 3-second time penalty. Verk doing a hell of a job. He's up 10 positions. Oh, as Websy's picked up a 3, so this could be the race order now, because unless Campbell's close to a warning himself, Campbell now doesn't need to finish the race in first on track, as Websy will get back past, but that hurts Websy in the final stage of this race with 10.5 laps left remaining.
Yeah, his only hope now, realistically, is that Campbell Adams gets a 3-second penalty, because I think he will find it very hard to get 3 seconds in front of one of the best drivers in the Oceania region. Campbell Adams, 4th in OFI qualifying times, behind only the 3 Veloce Academy drivers in the area, and he is showcasing his pace today, leading with only Websy nearby. Gelix Cam will have to get out of the way, so Campbell Adams might get a little bit of DRS from the McLaren in front as he pulls into pits, very close to a little impediment there, but he timed it nicely, just pulling into the pits now. I don't think Cam's the kind of guy to pit and quit. I think we'll see him jump onto the soft compound tyres, maybe the mediums, depending on how long the softs can last, and maybe go for fastest lap of the race, because Cam does have pace, which he showed by qualifying in the top 6 or 7, I believe it was, as we now see Websy and Campbell Adams side by side, as we see Keith Respondek getting swamped a little bit by the 2 Hasses and SFR Finns. He will fall down into 10th, and I think this will be where the Hasses and where Finns' race ends, because they have a 10-second gap to Aussie 2K Goat in front as Aussie 2K Goat and Sir Joshy both have 3-second penalties in that train, so that very well could end up being the race order in this train. As I've just noticed, Verk has hopped in to the top 3.
Yeah, made the switch, obviously, without both Astons in front of him. He was able to get past Zox with a bit of DRS. The question is, what pace has he got? All on the same age tyres. Ghost Rider picking up at 32nd. But just speaking of Keith, I think he just let the entire group go behind. Just let the guys behind go in front of him. Hoping to sort of stay with in DRS, as we've got Zox getting... Oh, as Zox gets a 3-second. If Verk can just keep it clean, he's got penalties all around him. If he can he just has to stay with this group. and Burke will be on the podium. And it'll be a fantastic effort, starting from P14 as Zox has a big wiggle off the exit of 3. He manages to keep it. Obviously, DRS for the 2 behind, as Burke will have the inside line. But all slight contact, Zox trying to hang it around the outside. But it's got to be the Alpine who leads this pack of 4. And Aussie just sitting back. He's got a penalty as well, but we've seen these guys nearly come to blows already. He just needs to see a couple of these guys fly off the road, and that final podium position potentially could be him, as Campbell comes into the pit lane, same as Websy. So 8-second gap. They're going to go on a set of softs. They're going to make this race at least interesting.
Campbell's on mediums.
Oh, so they're both going to go mediums. I'm surprised they didn't go softs, but not sure if those hards were near the range. Oh, they definitely weren't, because they're only on about, worst tire that I can see on the hards is about 46%. So, yeah, they'd be nowhere near punch territory, but they've come out in P9, 8 and 9, so they're going to get ahead of, they're going to be in the battle with the group that boxed later on, and then they've got about 7 seconds to try and close up to them, as Campbell's already gotten past Dommy. So those fresh medium tyres are going to be absolutely flying. Question is, Burke doesn't have a pen, so can Burke hang on for a surprising victory here?
Yeah, it would be a very fairy tale story if Verk could secure that win, but it will be Campbell Adams' time to shine, showcasing that rapid pace he has. He needs to gain 6-7 seconds on the leaders in order to secure this race win. I'll flick it to leader. He is almost exactly 7 seconds behind the top group, so he will need to gain a second lap on these drivers in front, as it seems like Farmer Sam just hopping out of the way of Campbell, trying to leech off his pace. Or maybe just DRS. Oh, Campbell, 3 seconds.
So I was going to say that makes that brings Websy into it. Problem is Websy's got 2 cars in between him and Campbell. Issue with Verk is at the moment all those guys' last laps were a low 7s. You can see Cam on a 5-1 on a soft. I have a feeling that Campbell, if he's got clean air, will probably be close to the 4. So that's 3 seconds already cut, and we still got 6.5 laps left, so this isn't going to be easy. This is going to be very hard, I should say, for Verk and Sir Joshy to sort of remain there, especially if these guys like keep fighting the way that they are. And you can see Campbell, that gap was, I think, 6.2 at the start of the last lap. Campbell's cut that gap in half, so there's a reason Campbell and Websy are the 2 of the quickest in the region. Websy, obviously, a champion over and into his last season, and his form has most certainly not dropped. And as you can see, a 5, what was that? A 5-0 and a 4-7. So about 2.5 seconds quicker than the guys in front, as Sam picks up a penalty now. So Vince and Dommy, if they can sort of stay with these guys, potentially in a chance. Or as we've got a big fight, Burke, Sir Joshy, Zox. This is just going to be allowing Campbell and Websy just to cut chunks of time out of them. And Sir Joshy will retake the race lead. Burke, Zox, Aussie. Campbell's got to be on there. Yellow flag. Oh, and I think that was, sorry, Cam getting out of the way. Or Daniel Starr.
Yeah.
So, only Burke in the top 7 has pens. Vince and Dommy, if this group still stays very close, these guys potentially could be on a podium as well. Get that last spot. Keith picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, yeah, it's going to be close. Campbell and Websy will feed through this field. It's going to be a matter of who is the final spot on the podium, you feel like. Because even though Verk's clean of pens, I have a feeling the medium tyres, they'll break 3 seconds easy as soon as they hit the front of this train.
The thing to consider, though, is while there are 4 or 5 laps left in this race, it's not like the top 4 are just going to let Campbell Adams free in the corners. He'll have to do it in the straights. And if you look on his wheel here, he does not have that much ERS, as he gets forced a little bit wide by Zox. Good, clean, hard racing from the Aston Martin. But if you look on Campbell Adams' wheel there, he's well below 20% on ERS. And it's not like these guys are just going to let him through. He does have a large tyre advantage, but they can park the bus, although it does not look like they've been doing it especially well.
that did not do anything, just the traction. Even on the inside line, Campbell had a lot more. And Websy setting a move at turn 7. So much grip, and Campbell's already side by side with Verk. As I said, it's got to be so hard. The only chance Verk has to potentially win, he's got to try and stay within DRS for at least a lap or two. As Verk goes super wide, that's going to allow Websy straight back through. So Websy and Campbell. So we're still going to have a battle for the race lead because both are on 3 seconds worth of penalties. You got Sir Joshy, he's going to be the last one on the old hards. That's going to be a very easy move from Campbell Adams. And you can see Farmer Sam has rejoined this Aussie Verk Zox battle as well as Websy down the inside of Sir Joshy. Easily done. So it's just a matter of if Sir Joshy can sort of start hang with them. Maybe try and break Verk, who's going to be battling the other Aston Martin. And it's going to be Zox who will lead into turn number 4. So very, very close indeed. And remember, Finn's Farmer Sam, both on 12-lap younger hard compounded tyres, so their grip will be will be a lot better than the 4 in front. Well, 4 in front. So watch them maybe just have the better traction, carve their way through the field, and I have a feeling Finns could snag that position from Verk, because I think these guys on the hards are really starting to struggle now.
I was just about to say the driver to watch here is Finns. Finns is on, by the looks of it, 12-lap younger hard compound tyres. I believe Scotty just said that, so a little bit of repetition, apologies. But Finns now directly behind Verk will go with this battle for the final podium spot as Websy jumps Campbell Adams to take the provisional race lead. We'll watch this final spot for the podium as it is in a bit of a train, then possibly jump to that top 2 battle maybe towards the end of next lap, as it definitely starts to heat up as we get to the pointy end of this race. Finns, though, looking right at Verk's diffuser, looking to jump him as we see Cam, I believe, having a moment.
Yeah,
going out.
Done that.
Yeah.
Weird spot that he sort of crashed. I don't know if he's had contact with somebody, but quite far away from turn 1. Thankfully, doesn't bring out a safety car or a VSC. It was still technically possible to get one.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have had much of an effect as we now start the penultimate lap here at Austria. Verk still holding that final podium place from Finns, assuming neither of them get a penalty, but Finns has a charged up battery. Verk does not. Finns looking to get the move done. Down the inside, heading in towards turn 2. Verk trying to stick it around the outside though. Can he get the traction? No, he just goes a little bit too deep, and he will be forced onto the back foot, and I think that is P4 wrapped up for Verk as we see Zox and Sir Joshy starting to swap, but Campbell Adams now 3 seconds ahead of Zox and P3. Penalties will not play a factor anymore in this battle for the race win. It will be pure battling throughout the final lap of this race here at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, and I think Finns is going to be right, because just having a look at he picked up a warning, I think, on lap 1, so that might not have even been a track limit warning, so he's actually in a prime position just because he's been so good on staying within the white line. So it's going to be Websy and Campbell. There's multiple battles to be looking. You got both Astons fighting side by side through turn 1, and that's probably going to hurt them both, as you got Finns easily going to be able to out-drag him. As we're seeing Websy and Campbell as well. Websy, does he have anything left? Last bit of DRS to get to turn number 4. Does he have a quick move as one of the McLarens get out of the way? Websy's going to have the dive bomb into turn number 4. He tries to pull it up. Campbell's going to try and do the switchback, but he's on the outside line for turn number 6. They're side by side. Websy's going to have the inside line for turn 7. He just can't quite. He won't have the grip. And this is going to be Campbell's race to win. Finns is going to be certain for P3.
Yeah, Campbell Adams just able to beat Websy throughout the final sector there around the outside of turn number 7. He will cross the line. He will be the winner here at Austria. Websy in P2, Finns in P3. A good result for the two Aston Martin drivers, P4 and 5. Verk jumps them up to P4, though, staying penalty free. Aussie 2K go P7, 8 and 9 for the Haas drivers. They were in a lot stronger of a position earlier in the race. Not the greatest race for those two drivers. Keith Respondek rounding out the top 10. Mash Jr. P11, Yusuf Goat P12, Ghost Rider P13, and eBay Boy, Apollo Pepsi, Nat Hammer, and Daniel Starr, I don't believe will change positions before the end of this race.
Yes, Vince definitely had no warning, so that's feeding him itself that he was able to do that, and he's been able to do. We thought he might have been in a little bit of trouble, but clearly those hards really did drop off in those last probably 5 to 10 laps, and yeah, the Finns and Farmer Sam, if he didn't quite get those penalties, he would have been right up there as well. So interesting that we did see that. Sort of happened as Verk, driver of the day. I think that's a well-deserved driver of the day. P14 up 10 to P4. Fantastic effort from him. But it's a double Red Bull podium, and Campbell just hanging on from Websy. But yeah, fantastic effort. Obviously doing the 2-stop. Definitely, they definitely could have not had the second pit stop. Made it a little bit more entertaining for us. But just they had too much pace compared to the rest of the field. They had the gap. They were able to secure 1 and 2, and Finns, again, fantastic effort from that, so...
Yeah, a wonderful race. Websy just beaten by Campbell Adams on that final lap. Websy picking up the fastest lap, however. Finns P3, Verk P4, courtesy to no penalties, and a race to forget for the two McLaren drivers. A lap down and 2 laps down for Daniel Starr and Cam, respectively. I'll see if I can get race director. I don't think it's going to be a small race director, though. It's a very track limits prone track here at Austria, but seems like I've got all of it, which is nice. I'll see if I can figure out a way to get interviews done, but apologies.
That's right. Yeah, we'll try and get the top guys in. I'll unfortunately I'll have to leave the interviews for Ashton. But yeah, unlucky for myself, but great battling that we did see. Great battling we did see throughout that race, and yeah, quality rose to the top as usual.
Yeah, I think just because of some stuff going on at home briefly, I might have to give interviews a miss as well tonight. Thank you for tuning in tonight. A wonderful race here at the Red Bull Ring. Thank you to Scotty for jumping in after his unfortunate DNF to give me some company for the 36 laps around here. I've been Ashton. Scotty has been Scotty. Thank you for watching this AUSF1 race. Make sure to tune in at the same time on Tuesday and Wednesday for Tier 2 and Tier 3, respectfully. And thank you for watching. Have a good night.